Hello, my friend. You're listening to the Sort Yourself Out podcast. This week, we're discussing how to beat that discouragement that so many of us are feeling at this particular time in world affairs. It's like a fog hanging over humanity. Stay tuned because we are going to shine some light to disperse that fog. I'm your host, Janine Hunt, natural health therapist for over 30 years, hypnotherapist, lifelong student, and spiritual seeker. I like to seek out the most effective practices and techniques that provide the greatest bang for my buck and the fastest route to freedom from whatever is holding us back. I can't wait to share with you these powerful techniques so that you too can sort yourself out, know deeper meaning in your life, and best of all, a sense of inner peace. So let's get started. Well, hello there, and thank you so much for joining me today. So tell me, are you feeling the discouragement? If you're listening to this far into the future, I'm recording this in April 2020, and the world is in the grip of the coronavirus pandemic. This world situation is weighing heavily on us all. I'm surprised at how much of an effect it's having on me. Physically, my life hasn't really changed that much. I live in the country, I work from home, and honestly, I don't get out much. I usually only go out once a week to go grocery shopping. Although we're on lockdown here in France, I still get to go out on nice country walks with my gorgeous little dog Twiggy twice a day. Also, I love my solitude, and I'm quite happy being a recluse. I already spend most of my time alone, and that suits me fine. But mentally and emotionally, the world situation has really been getting me down. Do you feel tired all the time too? Tired and kind of listless? Having trouble focusing? All of this uncertainty and the relentless bad news is so draining. And although we may be experiencing a multitude of emotions as we navigate the new normal and what it means for us and the world and deal with all the disruption, it's really important that we don't succumb to discouragement. I mean, it's a shock to the system just realizing that all the things we took for granted about how our lives and businesses and relationships and everything would pan out in the future have had the rug pulled out from underneath them. We're feeling so many strong emotions at this time: fear, sadness, anxiety, loneliness, overwhelm, and helplessness. Things that, for many of us, even a few weeks ago, were not even a consideration at all. So it's a huge reorientation, and it's normal that we're affected by it. But we've got to do what we can to boost ourselves and to keep up our morale, to keep ourselves grounded. Because discouragement helps no one and only amplifies the helplessness and powerlessness and vulnerability that we may be feeling. It takes away our resourcefulness and resilience, and it devitalizes us physically too, which is not good for our immune system. And, we really need to keep that boosted at this particular time. So when we're in a state of discouragement, we are no good to anyone else. We become the needy one rather than one who can help and serve others. So today, I'm doing a short but sweet episode sharing some of what I'm doing to keep on an even keel and not sink into discouragement. Or more like, as I'm finding, to pull myself out when I do sink in. Because on some level, I do keep sinking in. So I've got to find the resolve and make the commitment to keep pulling myself up and to keep positive despite the state of the world. So that's what I want to help you with today. So on that note, let's get on with my 5 ways to beat discouragement. Number 1, don't watch the news. You know this, right? The news is bad news. News shows are not concerned with giving us balanced views or shock horror, good news. They exist to feed us doom and gloom. As they say, what bleeds, leads. And for me, that's definitely when my mood takes a plunge for the worse, and I risk descending into discouragement when I gird myself to check in with what's going on in the world. So limit your news viewing. Check in a couple of times a week so you can keep up to date with potential changes in your country's situation and the things you need to know, but otherwise steer clear. Same goes for online news and social media, where there's loads of fear and paranoia flying around. Trust me, this one thing alone can make a huge difference in banishing discouragement. Instead of focusing on the bad news, find some funny, cheering, heartwarming, positive, uplifting things to read or watch. Things that make you laugh are especially good. Take care to lighten your mood, and then you will also be spreading that light and cheer to others and giving them a lift. We all need that right now. Number 2, work out the essentials for what you really want. For you, for your life, for your future, and for the world. We are being given a huge wake-up call here, both for how we live our lives on the individual level and also on a grander scale about how the world works. So on an individual level, how has the world situation made you think about your life and what you want to do in the world? Many of us are no longer going to work. You may be relieved and realizing that you don't want to do that work anymore. So who do you want to be now? What really matters to you? Reflect on what you really want for the future. Take some time to visualize what you want for yourself. Take some time to prepare your vision for your future. You might want to consider how you can serve others more and have a more positive, fulfilling, and meaningful impact in the world. It might mean changing your work, realizing that dream you were saving for a rainy day, moving to a different location when all of this world weirdness lets up, or whatever it is for you. It's also a wake-up call to change the way the world works. For so many of us, especially people who are thinkers and people who have open minds and are ready to change, there is a massive opportunity here to create a shift in the patriarchal and materialistic society we've created until now, and to create a better, more compassionate, and more equitable world. Visualize a new world where we recognize our interconnectedness, where we share the world's resources and look after the lower kingdoms, and so truly step into our role as the custodians and stewards of the animal, vegetable, and mineral kingdoms. Okay, that was number 2. Plan some amazing things for yourself and the world for when this is all over. Start now and hit the ground running, going where you really want to go with your life. Number 3, take some time to sort yourself out. Yes, this is the Sort Yourself Out podcast. So now you might have some time on your hands. Sort yourself out. Maybe learn EFT, that's emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping. Or learn to do self-hypnosis and get rid of some hang-ups. Do some inner work on forgiving yourself and others. Learn to meditate, exercise, make tasty, healthy, and comforting food. There's something about this world situation that just makes me want to cook. This week, I finally cracked and made the cake I've been resisting making for months. I just needed cake. you know? Anyhow, there are so many ways you can sort yourself out, and the internet is your friend here. On my site alone, I offer 6 free goodies you can download to help you sort yourself out. Have a look on theinspirationcloud.com and download away. Number 4, find your balance between getting enough rest and keeping yourself busy. I don't know about you, but as I said before, I am finding the state of the world to be sitting rather heavily on me. And I'm feeling really scatterbrained, like it's hard to focus. And I seem to feel more tired than usual as well. And it can be really tiring trying not to succumb to the negativity and discouragement. Kind of like how when you're resisting something or procrastinating, you're still giving energy to it. So acknowledge that you might need more rest and maybe allow yourself a nap. Give yourself a break, find the balance, and be kind to yourself. Number 5, this is a great time to be learning and practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about living in the present moment. And this is very helpful for us right now, as it keeps us from worrying about the future, projecting ourselves into the great unknown, which can send us down a rabbit hole of ever-growing anxieties. Living in the present moment also stops us from fretting about and regretting the past. At this time of world suffering and uncertainty, there seems to be this sense of unease and disquiet that is constantly there in the background, like, oh, something's not right. Do you know what I mean? It's calling us, requiring us to be more aware and awake than ever, to remind ourselves, to watch over our thoughts and not drift into an unconscious state of low-level background distress and sadness. So you can begin to practice mindfulness really easily. Simply choose a couple of triggers that you will use to bring your awareness back into the present moment, like going through a doorway, up the stairs, taking a drink, or opening your mouth to speak. That last one has the power to transform your relationships, believe me. Yep, funnily enough, there's nothing like thinking before you speak to improve your relationships. So, every time your chosen trigger arrives, like you walk through a doorway or you take a drink, you bring your awareness into your body and your senses. Feel your feet on the floor, hear the sounds around you, notice the smells, feel the water in your mouth, whatever it is. Look at what's around you. Feel the temperature of the doorknob as you open the door. You get it? Basically, as you do this, you are gradually shifting your mind out of autopilot and the thoughts that are churning around in there. Try it, my friend. This is the path to inner peace. So there we have it, my 5 tips to beat discouragement. Quick recap. Number 1, don't watch the news or really cut back. Just keep it to the minimum. Number 2, plan some amazing things for yourself and the world for when this is all over. Start now and then hit the ground running, going where you really want to go with your life. 3, sort yourself out. Free yourself of some hang-ups. Meditate. 4, find your balance between getting enough rest and keeping yourself busy, aka take a nap if you want to. 5, get on the path to inner peace by learning to practice mindfulness. Now, if we're going to make lemonade out of world lemons, we need to come up with a new vision for how we would like our lives and the world to look when we come out of these challenging times. So I invite you to download my free Visualization Essentials Guide so you can get some help on how to visualize and to amplify your visualization sessions and easily get started on creating the things you want in your life. It's my no-fluff, all you need to know essentials to start consciously creating your ideal life today. You can get it at theinspirationcloud.com/SYO21. And those are the numbers 21, not the word 21. So that's theinspirationcloud.com/SYO21. Now, if you're interested in learning more deeply about all of the fascinating and life-enhancing topics we discuss here in the podcast, why don't you go sign up for the waiting list for my upcoming Inner Circle membership so that you can amplify your well-being and have a more positive impact in the world. So in a couple of months, I'll be opening the doors. And in my monthly membership, I'll be offering my most powerful top-down techniques to sort yourself out, to free yourself of your hang-ups and blockages, to take charge of your mind, and to nourish your soul. There'll be mini courses, hypnosis sessions, guided meditations, tapping videos, neuro-linguistic programming techniques, mindfulness training, the ageless wisdom teachings, and so much more, so that wherever you are on your path to greater well-being, you can start right there where you find yourself and then take the next step. You'll have everything you need, all the tools, practices, and techniques to not just heal your life, but to make it more meaningful, fulfilling, and peaceful. If you're ready to transform your well-being and would like to be kept informed, go on over to theinspirationcloud.com/membership to get on the wait list, and I'll keep you in the loop. I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Okay, my friend, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. And please, please, please take and make the time to look after yourself and keep your spirits up. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. I really hope you found it helpful and full of uplifting ideas that you can put into practice in your life. And if you have, chances are your friends and family will too. So please share it with them on social media. You'll be helping them to sort themselves out, because I bet you think they need it, right? But seriously, you'll also be doing me a huge favor, and I will be eternally grateful for your generosity. It would also be lovely if you would leave me a review on iTunes, preferably a nice one, please. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast while you're there. If you have any questions or would like me to address a certain topic, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at info@theinspirationcloud.com. Have a good one, folks. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.